learning how to walk God's way, and I just can't do it. I'm not good enough. Everyone keeps telling me I'm too small, and everyone else seems so much smarter than me.
You mean smarter than you?
Oh, you see, I can't do anything right.
Oh, Andy, you know what? This actually reminds me about David from the Bible.
It does?
It does. You see, so many people told him that he was too small, but that didn't stop him. Do you know why?
No, why?
Because David knew in his heart that God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan.
Oh, I like that. God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan. Can you tell me more about David, please?
Yes, sure. Well, one day David was out in the field looking after the sheep, and Samuel came to their house to choose the next king. And Jesse, that was David's dad, had his 7 brothers line up. He was sure one of them would be good enough to be king. But Jesse didn't even call David. He left David in the field looking after the sheep.
Oh no! Imagine that! Your own dad thinking you're not good enough. That would make me so sad.
But God looked in David's heart, and he could see David trusted him. And can you remember what David knew in his heart?
God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan.
Yes, exactly. And that very day, David was chosen to one day become king. But that wasn't the only time that people told David that he was too small.
It wasn't?
No. Another time, David went to take food to his brothers who were on the battlefield. When he got there, he heard the enemy soldier named Goliath shouting and telling them to come and fight him. But the Israelite armies were too scared and so hid and ran away.
Wow, that Goliath sure must have been big and scary to make a whole army run away.
When David started asking about Goliath, his brother told him to go back home and take care of the sheep, and that he had no place on the battlefield.
Oh no, not his brothers too.
But what did David know in his heart?
God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan.
Yes, that's right. And David knew that God had helped him before fight off fierce lions and angry wolves when he was protecting his sheep. And he knew that God would help him again. So when Saul called him, David said, "I'll fight him for you."
Yay! Go, David, go! Did the king encourage him and tell him he could do it?
Actually, no. The king said, "Don't be ridiculous. There's no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy. He's been a man of war since youth."
Oh no, not again. Did David give up and go home?
Nope. Because what did David know in his heart?
God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan.
So then the king tried to make David wear all his armor, but it was way too big and heavy that David took it all off. You see, David didn't go into battle trying or pretending to be someone else. He went in as himself because he knew in his heart.
God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan.
That's right. So David collected 5 stones for in his slingshot and he went to fight the giant.
But he's so small and with no armor. I'm scared to ask what happened next.
When the giant saw David, he was so angry. He said David was too small. He wanted to fight a strong warrior.
What? Even the giant was saying David wasn't good enough.
But David said to Goliath, "You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defiled." And he flung his slingshot and his stone hit Goliath right on the head. And boom! The giant was dead.
Hooray! The people of Israel was saved. And God had used just a little boy to win the battle.
That's right. And what did that little boy know in his heart?
Oh, God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan. And you know what?
What?
I don't feel worried or not good enough anymore.
Oh, wonderful.
I can do things for Jesus too. Because God has made me just like this and will help me do his plan.
Oh, that's wonderful, Andy. And I think that is something we should all remember.
Yep.